All right, so why don't we kind of get started? Before I jump in and everything, want to make sure technically we're all good. Can everybody hear me and see the first slide in the slide deck? Give me a thumbs up. Or you can chat in the window, or so make sure I'm coming through.
Yeah, I can.
Wonderful. Okay. So let me start off. Whoop, one slide. Let me just maybe take a quick minute, introduce myself, and just talk a little bit about what we're going to go through in the next like 30 minutes or so, and how that fits into our kind of our upcoming recruiting season and getting into the scouting year. First off, I want to introduce myself. My name is Brian Weatherford. I'm the Cub Master for Pack 442 here in Lakeway, chartered by Lakeway by the Lakeway Church. Also on the call is Josh Sawyer. Josh is our committee chair, who runs everything in the background, and you get to see a little bit of that in the future. I do want to let you know we are recording this info session. We like to do this every year. We post it on our website, so parents and families throughout the year can kind of take a look at this and get some of this information if they don't discover scouting until December or February. So we don't have to kind of rehash this. We have these on hand. We started doing these in COVID, and they were really helpful for us to be able to kind of talk a little bit about scouting and about our pack and going into that. Um, from a high level, for the next 30 minutes or so, I'll go through probably about a dozen slides or so to talk really high level. I'll talk about what scouting is and what Cub Scouting really is, what we're trying to achieve through Cub Scouting. And then I'll start diving into a little bit more of the details about how our specific pack operates, who's involved with it, how they're structured, and then I'll hit on uh, a little bit about dues, a little bit of how the scouting works, and then also some of the upcoming events, so you can kind of get a glimpse into what's happening over the next few months. So at the end of the meeting, you can decide whether you want to try to pack out and see if it's something you want to join, or get some more information on. This is kind of our second event as far as recruiting goes. Last night we had our kickoff swim party at the Lakeway Swim Center. That was really just to get together, to get the kids back, who were, everyone coming back from school, and just to get out and enjoy each other, have some fun, and pass along as much information on the pack as possible. Tonight's more of an informal info session for new families and new parents interested in scouting, interested in our pack. And then next Monday night, I'll go through this again, but next Monday night, we'll have our first pack meeting as a whole pack at the Lakeway Church at 6:30. And then in that meeting, all of the scouts will be working toward their first adventure that they'll earn toward their badge. I'll explain that in a little bit. And then all of the parents will sit down and meet with Josh and myself and a few other committee members, and we'll go in like to the next level of detail. Some of it will be rehashed of these slides, but it kind of really goes into the next level of detail of what you got to know. It can be a lot, especially if you haven't been in scouting before, or know how it all works. And instead of just throwing a whole bunch of information to everybody and kind of have you figure it out like you see at school, we're really trying to explain how to get actively involved and really hit the ground running. Any questions before I get started, or anything that you definitely want me to touch on, or you can wait to the end and then we'll do some Q&A at the end. Sound good? Okay. So to kind of kick this off, so like as I said, Lakeway Church is our charter organization. This is going into our 40th year as PAC 442 being chartered through Lakeway Church. So we've been pretty established in this area from quite some time. We serve now, scouts can from any school can join any PAC, but I'd say looking at the demographic of our pack. We're probably about a third and third between Lakeway Elementary, Serene Hills Elementary, and Rough Hollow. As the ISD grew and Serene Hills was built and Rough Hollow was built, a lot of those kids got redistricted, but still stayed with our pack. So we've got a pretty good following between those three schools. Some of the kids in those schools do go to other packs, but we also have scouts in our pack that go to other Lake Travis ISD schools. We have some students from Eanes ISD, as well as homeschooling and some private schools as well. So we're not directly specifically attached to one elementary school. Like I said, any scout can go to any pack and put in an application and join that pack. And again, if you don't find that pack 442 kind of fits your family or what you're looking for, there's plenty of great packs in the area, whether it's in North Lakeway or out in West Cypress or Bee Cave. Scouting is really strong in this area. As of right now, our pack is a boy-only pack, so all of the scouts in our pack are boys. We do have everything is a family event, and we have a lot of siblings with a lot of sisters joining. So girls and are welcome to join with family activities, and we can go into that in more detail. But right now, all of our scouts are boys, unlike several of the other packs in the area that do mixed gender in their pack. I'm gonna move on to the next slide. So let me take a minute and talk a little bit about what scouting is, whether it's at the Boy Scout level or the Cub Scout level. Really, the mission statement of BSA is to really prepare our young youth to really not only make ethical and moral decisions, but develop skills that they can use throughout a lifetime, skills that they learn from the Scout Oath and the Scout Law, and it's the same oath and law that they say from a Lion Scout in kindergarten all the way through Boy Scouts when they turn 18. So it's the same ideals, it's the same principles, and we try and engage with them through different activities and trying to teach them these skills at the appropriate grade level. And really our goal is to develop the scouts through the early grades and get them prepared for Boy Scouts when they do go into middle school and they are ready to kind of continue their scouting journey. We believe, we provide a very unique opportunity for our youth to get feeling a sense of responsibility, being a participant, whether it's a citizen or a leader within their community, within their organization. We really try and build this confidence within the scouts by problem solving, engaging socially, getting outdoors and challenging them. I think in a unique experience than what the scouts would either see in school or in a scout sporting activity. We're just able to kind of offer a different experience when it comes to some of these skills and developing into leaders. So sometimes when you're running den meetings and you've got 10 7-year-olds, it can kind of seem very daunting to try and do that, but grabbing their attention with some really great outdoor activities can really engage even the quietest scout and have them become a participant, whether we're doing skits and preparing for a campfire, or challenging them when we're doing some shooting sports, or really just out on a hike or setting up tents. There's a lot of opportunities to kind of show the scouts what they're capable of and build their confidence. There's really 7 ideals around the method of scouting that we try and kind of to use to teach these skills. The first, living through the Scout Oath, the Scout motto, the sign, salute, the handshake, having them feeling part of a community, and then driving that into not only belonging to a pack, but then also belonging to a den. So we really see the scouts form a really unique bond between the scouts in their own den. All the dens are set up by grades. I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. But we have some scouts develop some really great friendships, not only within their own grade, but even as some of the dens are participating in pack activities, and they really get to see each other. We we are highly focused on advancement. We're going to see a lot of changes to advancements this year, and every year, every grade as the scouts progress through, they're going to earn different ranks, and there's different adventures that goes with those. I'll talk about the ranks in a minute, but using advancements will give the scouts like a feeling of accomplishment. So again, builds that confidence to say they've really been able to learn something and take something away from that. The motto of Cub Scouts is to do your best. We're not out there to be the fastest. We're not out there to be the quickest or the smartest or the tallest. Everything about Cub Scouts is about improving and doing your best and putting your effort in. Whether it's a sporting adventure or some teamwork, it's about improving and about doing your best. Involving the family and home. Cub Scouting is not really just an activity just for the scouts. Cub Scouting is a family activity. We'll go through more, but it is an important part to help develop the scout to get that feedback from their home. We do require for all of our events the scouts to have at least one parent to be able to be there, see what they're working on, help reinforce that at home, and really participate. The scouts who really get the most out of it are having their parents attending the meetings, attending the pack meetings, even just helping out in the smallest way. Participating in activities, we have a ton of activities. You'll see that in a moment. And it's really hard to hit them all, but we try and provide enough of a variety of activities. So scouts, even if they're doing soccer or taekwondo or football or baseball, they still have the ability to get out and still participate in Cub Scouting, even though they're in other activities. I have 3 boys in several other sports. We've been juggling it for 5 years, and there's creative ways to fit it all in. And then we work closely with the den leaders to make sure the scouts are still getting everything out of it and learning everything that they want. Being good servants to their home and their community, we try and take an active stance within the community, whether we're doing some conservation projects, participating in Lakeway, the Lakeway City Parade, doing some cleanup. There's always ways that we're looking for to serve our community each and every year. And then finally, like wearing the uniform, we try to instill a sense of pride and accomplishment in the scouts by celebrating what they've earned through their Class A uniforms that they can wear at certain events, they can wear in public, and it gives them again that sense of accomplishment. Okay, moving on. This is what the advancement looks like, and if you've never seen this before, and even if you've seen it last year, this has changed quite a bit in the last year. And it's great because we're seeing so much more alignment between the different adventures and through each of the years. So let me kind of just start off. And the scouts are organized by grade. So all the kindergarten scouts are Lion Scouts. First graders, Tigers, second grade, Wolf, Bear, Webelos, and Arrow of Light. At this point in time, we have one den for each of the grades. So we're keeping the scouts together. So, but it kind of comes down to the den size. Mention that in a minute. Something that's new this year, and you're going to see this alignment. So I'm going to kind of pick on the Lions to earn your Lion Scout. So if you have a kindergartner who's joining this year, they're going to work for this year to earn this Lion for their uniform. And in order to earn that, they have a Bobcat, Mountain Lion, Fun in the Sun, King of the Jungle, Lion Roar, and Lion's Pride. Each of these are an adventure that they will earn either at a pack meeting, either at a den meeting, or even working at home within a family. There are a lot more than 2 elective adventures, and we encourage our scouts to pick an elective, work on home with your family, and let your den leader know that you've accomplished this with your parents or with your family or your brother and sister, and we can get that awarded to you. But these 6 and 2 are the minimum requirement. But our den leaders will track throughout the year that your scout is on track. So when we have our final ceremony in May, all the lions will be earning their lion badge and they're ready to go into the tiger. If you have someone who's starting scouting in the second grade or the third grade, they do not need to go back to earn lion and tiger. They will just start in that grade. So if you have a third grader who's coming in as a bear, he will jump in and start working on these adventures and earn the bear and those other ones. The alignment that we're seeing, as you can kind of see, are these themes. So we're teaching character and leadership, outdoors, personal fitness, citizenship, and in each year, these themes are being addressed in these different adventures. So we're taking personal fitness or outdoor activity from something that kindergartners can do and achieve all the way up through Arrow of Light and in fifth grade, and really trying to make sure that these fifth graders are ready to join Boy Scouts in March when they cross over and they have all the skills that they need there. And the fundamentals of character and leadership and the oath and the law, the motto, everything is carried over year after year through the Bobcat adventure. And so next Monday at the PAC meeting, when all the parents are off talking and getting kind of the details of the PAC and the year, the scouts will be off with the den leaders earning their first Bobcat badge next Monday night. So we're super excited about this. Again, a lot of our PAC meetings and den meetings are already aligned with all these adventures and more. Our goal is to, every time we get together and we do an activity, we are in a position to award scouts the adventure that they're earning for that activity. So they're walking away, getting that immediate recognition of a job well done and something that they've accomplished. So that's our goal going into this year. Any questions on this? I'm going to get into more details of our PAC, but that's kind of the rundown of scouting, its ideals, and how it's structured. Any questions? All right, I'm going to move on. Now, here are the details of our PAC. So PAC 442. This is a busy slide. I'm not going to go through every single thing. We'll do probably a little bit more of that next week. But every Cub Scout PAC has a key three, it's called. We've got a Cub Master, a PAC committee chair, that's Josh and myself, and then we have a charter board representative. So no matter if you're chartered by church or an American Legion or some organization, there needs to be a rep from that organization to help you navigate your execution and really just be that representative in a church. Luke Gordon, I don't know if any of you attend Lakeway Church. Luke is one of the pastors there. We've been working with Luke for a number of years, and he's kind of like our go-to person in the church as we try and do events, whether it's setting up meetings there, but seeing how we can give back to the church as well through different events. We have PAC parent meetings. These are like committee meetings. So in these committee meetings once a month, we'll go and all the volunteers and we will plan every month, making sure everything's getting ready for the next several activities and make sure that we're organized and we have the right people in place. So when everyone does show up for our PAC events, it runs pretty smoothly. We encourage all the parents to attend, even though it's kind of like the committee meeting. Any parent can join any of the committee meetings, even if it's one or two, just to see how things are run, maybe how decisions are made, what kind of planning, or even, if they want to get involved, but really kind of don't know where to get involved. Our dens are organized by grade level. And this year we have a den leader and an assistant den leader in just about every den. So our big goal was to try and get at least 2 den leaders filled in and applied to be volunteers and go through the proper training to be a den leader. And we're just about there. But you can imagine when dens get to the size of 9 or 10 or more, things can get very busy, especially when you're talking about 10, 7-year-olds and trying to crowd them, or 15, 10-year-olds. It can get a bit daunting. That's why having the parents there and help organizing and really just help executing some of the meetings even if it's like just being at the Pinewood Derby and just helping to move cars from one end of the track back to the beginning of the track. Like just that level of participation is huge. We do have open positions, and you can see these. I'm not going to go through these. I'll talk a bit more of those next Monday night. But we do have several positions in the committee. Whoops, in the committee that are open. And again, like these are open positions, and basically these are not necessarily roles that aren't getting done. Other people on the committee are filling in these roles, and the more hands we can get in, the later it makes the load really on everyone. So it can be tough trying to navigate scouting and figure out where volunteers may fit in. We do have a family talent survey that will get all the parents to fill out, and just like if you're interested in volunteering but don't know where, it's a way for us to kind of connect what the troop or what the pack really needs versus what somebody's willing to participate. And the other thing I do want to, we do get, there's a position of a den chief at the Boy Scout level, and we have den chiefs. We have two right now that come back every 6 months and work with some of the older scouts and get them prepared for Boy Scouts, no matter what troop they go into. Okay, more information. So let's talk a little bit about dues and what's the money for, where does it go, and kind of go through that a little bit. Right now, our dues are $175 per calendar year. When you register as a new scout online, there is an application fee. I think it's 85. I don't think it's 65. I think it's 85 right now. That is a fee that goes directly to Boy Scouts of America for the kind of registering that scout with that organization. So that goes directly to Boy Scouts of America. The $175 comes to the pack, and that's what we use from each of the scouts, along with our fundraising, to go through and run all the events. I'll go through those in a minute. We typically try and get all the new scouts to pay their dues by the end of September, so they can attend some of the initial activities. If they're not really quite sure about it, or if it's something they want to do, come to some of the first pack meetings, go to the first den meetings, get a feel if this is something you want to do for the remainder of the year, and then make the decision by the end of September. But it just, for us, kind of, we take scouts all year round. If a scout comes to us in December, wants to join, they can absolutely join. But by the end of September, we're kind of phasing out of like the recruiting focus, because we have so many other things to execute between our pack meetings, our fall family camp out, some of our community service. We just kind of turn the focus a little bit away from the recruiting, and then more on and just focusing on the remainder of the year. Fundraising right now, we'll talk about more of that next Monday, but we do fundraising in the fall, and it accounts for about 55% of the income. So if you look about how much the pack is pulling in a year, it's about 45% dues, and 55% of that comes through fundraising to kind of fund the whole pack. Where does it go? What's covered? So in the dues and the fundraising, so what's covered by that are everything your advancement. So for the belt loops that you earn, any patches, awards, the neckerchief and slide that we give at the crossover, all of that stuff throughout the year for all 70 or so scouts that we'll get, that will go to that's going to go right to the advancements, and that's about 17%. Over here, registration, 32%. This is a registration charge every year. So new scouts pay a registration fee to sign up for the first time, but every year we need to recharter with Boy Scouts of America as a pack, and that's about 32% of the income that we take in is giving back to the council to be a pack in Boy Scouts of America. Events go about 40%, And that's that's the stuff that kind of not only to put on the event, but also some of the materials that go to the scouts. So when we do rain gutter regatta, the scouts will get a boat for that. Pinewood Derby, this will pay for all the Pinewood Derby kits, all the rocket kits for Rocket Day. When we have pack meetings, if we have some special events or some supplies for pack meetings, our blue and gold banquet, when we're doing shooting sports, and it will cover family campouts partially. I'll talk about the overnights in a minute when I get down to what's not covered, but we try and keep the family campouts to a very reasonable rate, and we try and subsidize that with some of the funding that we take in through dues and fundraising. And then operations is like everything that it takes to run the den and pack meetings. We have a trailer. We send all of our leaders for training. It covers that. Running our website, all of our marketing and recruiting material, really everything to kind of keep the pack going year over year. What's not covered is uniform. Oh, I should also say new scouts will get a t-shirt, Pack 442 t-shirt, and that's covered in the registration fee. What's not covered is a uniform. So we'll go over the details of the uniform next week, but we don't provide the scouts uniform. We can give you a lot of direction, but that would be the shirt, the hat, shorts. They have socks, and the belt would have to be purchased. But you can purchase those where the scout will use them for the next 3 or 4 years. So my boys all got like 2 or 3 sizes bigger, and they've been wearing the same uniform until it changes when they get into 5th grade. We don't require a hard copy of the scout book. You don't need it. Everything is online, and we post everything online. But some of the scouts really enjoyed having that hard copy and keeping it at home. So that's something that can be purchased. When we do pack overnights, so when we're out sleeping at a museum, right now we're targeting to do NASA in Houston for the overnight sometime in the spring, and that will be a separate fee. That's not covered. I talked about if you want additional Pack 442 t-shirts, you can purchase those. We will have them for sale next week, but if you're a new scout and you register and pay your dues, you'll get a t-shirt. And then the family camp out, we charge kind of a flat rate for $50 per family for the camp out. And the camp out consists of 2 nights. It includes, $50 includes the campsite for both nights, all your meals, all the activities that we're going to do while we're there. And meals would be Friday night through Sunday morning. And it covers the whole family. Okay. Let's go to kind of like the time commitment. What's really, what am I signing up for? On the right, I'm not going to crawl through this. I'm going to go through some of the activities a little bit later, but this is our current Pack 442 calendar for the year. We have this posted on our website. Everything is posted on our website, but even a PDF version is included there, and you're able to kind of download this onto your Google Calendars and integrate this and as we make updates. But we set this schedule in June, and some of it's TBD, but I'd say about 90%, maybe 95% of this sticks. Like we have to make sure we've got all the dates and everything set up with the church when we're using their rooms or we're making reservations at campgrounds. So we do a lot of planning in June to make sure this doesn't change. So to keep things consistent for parents. From a time commitment, the packs will meet once a month, and you can kind of see those are kind of written in, I think they're in blue on the side, but we'll read once a month, and the date and time varies. We will stick to, it'll be some Monday evening, so like next Monday evening is 6:30 to 8. But some of the other events would be on Saturdays. So September's pack meeting is the bike rodeo. That will be 6:30 to 8. Rain Gutter Regatta will be on a Saturday in October, and we'll try and do that in the morning and We work, again, we understand scouts are doing soccer or football or baseball and all over the place, and we can adjust some of these times to make sure you're a scout. If they built a boat, they built a Pinewood Derby car, we're giving them the opportunity to participate in race. But yeah, the pack meetings are once a month. And then outside the pack meeting, the den, so the individual grades, they'll also get together once a month. And the den leaders are just about finalizing their schedules. And you'll start to see those, and they'll probably be posted by next Monday. And there'll be den meetings kind of sprinkled in between here. It's a little bit easier for them to focus on some of the rank specific adventures that they go through. And then I talked a little bit about the parent pack meetings, or these are kind of like the committee meetings once a month. Usually, I think it's the first Monday of every month. We try and make sure that we meet as a committee, make sure that we're looking 1 week ahead to 6 months ahead to make sure we've got everything in place, the right volunteers, the right reservations, moving forward to kind of make sure this whole schedule happens. Here's a little bit more about like some of the den meetings. Again, I kind of hit on this. Right now, our Lions tend to meet every second Sunday of the month from 3 to 4. Some of the other dens are still working that out. I'd say as the dens are getting new scouts over the course of the next week or two, they will be reaching out and trying to decide on a consistent time once a month when the dens can meet at the den level. If your scout can't make it a den meeting, can't make a pack meeting, there is more than enough opportunities to get them caught up if they missed an adventure or even working on it at home. So, a lot of the scouts, Josh's sons are in a lot of different sports as well and are juggling quite a bit. But we always are being as flexible and accommodating as possible to make sure the adventures and the rankings are getting achieved and the scouts are getting the most out of it. Is this it? Almost. 2 more slides left. So upcoming pack events. I'm going to go through this. This is kind of what's coming up in the next probably 3 to 4 months. I'm going to touch on these just a little bit, just so you know, if you want to mark your calendars for anything specific. So August 26th, parent orientation and Bobcat ceremony. So this is our first pack meeting next week. Again, scouts will start working on their Bobcat badge, and we'll download all the other information to all the parents. So other topics we'll talk in there is like uniforms. We will talk about communication. So how are we providing information to the pack, whether it's through email or Facebook or Slack or some kind of mechanism, so you can be sure that you're getting all the information and the latest stuff as possible. So this is if you missed the swim party or you couldn't get everything answered today, next Monday is the meeting to get to. And if you can't make it, let us know. There's plenty of opportunities coming up by the end of September to kind of get you engaged. September 7th is our next pack meeting. This looks like it's a lot coming up, but we did jam quite a bit into September. We're going to go to Camp Tom Wooten, which is down in Bastrop. It's the Boy Scout reservation down there, and we're going to be working on shooting sports. The shooting sports is an adventure where majority of the scouts get to learn how and use BB guns, except for the Lion Scouts. They use slingshots, as well as they get to learn how to shoot a bow and arrow. We've got several leaders that are trained. We did it last April. Even though it rained, we couldn't camp overnight, but we did it as a day event. And this September, we're doing it as a day event as well. It was a really big success. We had about 40 or so scouts out there. Some of them really, really had a great time. And again, going back to that scout, doing your best, getting better. It wasn't about who had the better shot or was closer to bullseye. It was getting better. And it was amazing to see, scouts go from trying to learn how how to shoot a BB gun into like an hour or two later and a few rounds, and then being able to hit the target. And it was a lot of fun. And so it was a bit of work to get our leaders trained to do it, and we're going to take advantage of it again early this year and give this opportunity to the scouts. September 12th will be our kind of our fundraising kickoff. So we have a spirit night at Craig O's and Lakeway, which when we arrive there for certain hours of that evening from 4 to 8, anything that's purchased from Craig O's, we get a portion of the profits, and we get a little bit of kickback to the fundraiser, and then we'll start our popcorn and coffee fundraiser, and we'll talk more about that next Monday. But that's kind of kicks off our fundraising season. We try to do our fundraising up front, so we know how we look for the rest of the year, and we can get really have a successful year. The next PAC meeting will be September 16th. That's the bike rodeo. All the scouts will bring their bikes. We'll have a lot of different stations, and the scouts will learn bike safety. They will learn different bike skills, and we have activities for scouts who are been riding a bike for a number of years, and even scouts who don't even know how to ride a bike or have training wheels or are still trying to learn that. We try and provide something for everybody, and again, it's about improving and trying your best while you're out there. It's a really fun event, and we moved it up into September. Won't go into Weeblo Woods too much. It's more for some of the older scouts, but if you have a question, definitely let me know. August 26th is our rain gutter regatta, where the scouts will build boats, and they will race the boats on some, not gutters exactly, they're inflatable, but and they'll race the boats back and forth, and it's a pretty fun event. And then I'll hit on the last one I really want to get to is November 1st through the 3rd. Is our fall family camp out at Pace Bend Park. So what we do is the pack will go and set up. We have a trailer with all of our camping gear and everything, and all of our cooking gear. And we'll set up Friday afternoon. We'll start to get families to come in and set their tents up. And we'll be there on Friday night all the way through Sunday morning. And we'll have activities, campfires if there's no burn ban. We'll have activities during the day, pack-wide ones. We'll have den level ones, and really getting out to explore Pace Bend Park if you've never been there. If this is a great example, which you're trying to mix in sports. November 1st through the 3rd is more than likely going to be LTYA soccer tournament weekend. So if you have a scout playing soccer, you don't know if they have a game on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday until the week coming up. And they may have two, only being 30 minutes down the road from Pace Bend. Speaking from experience, I've gone, set my tent up that afternoon, left, took my one son to soccer on Friday night, then came back and we slept, did the campfire on Friday, and we slept there Friday night. Did a quick game Saturday morning, and then we were back and forth. And Pace Bend's only 30 minutes or so from Field of Dreams, or if you're in Bee Creek, you're even a little bit closer. So that's how we try and stay flexible for this activity. But this is it's been about 5 years since our pack's been to Pace Bend. We camp a lot of different places. We try and switch it up quite a bit. Last fall, we did Colorado Bend State Park. We've been to Inks Lake. We've been to Garner State Park, Cave Without a Name, and several others. So we really try and explore. And when we go as a pack, I mean, we're taking 100 or 110 people or so with all the families there. We have a grub master. We cook for everybody. Again, parents pitch in, and each of the dens get a meal, but all the food is bought, and all the food is cooked right there for everybody. So we really try and make it. It's all car camping. So there's power and water, and it's not primitive camping for the most part. We try and keep it as car camping friendly as possible. Oh, we've done Enchanted Rock too. All right. What's next? I just gave you a whole bunch of information. So what's next is If you're interested in getting the next level of information, if you're interested in joining, first is you can go to our website. All of the applications online, forms, whether they're medical forms, family talent forms, we have a photo clearance form so we can put pictures on Facebook. All of that is online, and you can go right to our website and really start filling those forms out. You can pay dues, and you can start, looking at your gear. If you still, and in either way, whether you're filling in applications now or if you're looking to get some more information, again, next Monday, parent orientation at the Lakeway Church is going to be the big event. That's going to be probably the last. We'll record that discussion, so if you miss it, you can replay these videos and see if you get any of your questions answered. But everything is on our webpage that you can go to, Lakeway Cub Scouts. Excuse me, Lakeway Cub Scouts, and get everything in there. Try it out. If you can't get your questions answered by Josh or myself, talk to another parent, talk to your den leader, and just kind of get as much information as you can to make sure that this is a good fit for you. We're really excited about this year. We're really looking forward. I love how the new adventures are structured, and the scouts are going to be earning stuff every time we get together. And that's, handing out those badges and those adventures is such a great part of getting together, and really looking forward to that this year. That is my last slide. I'm going to stop here, and I can stay as long as anybody needs for questions.
Hey, Brian, it's Hugh Alexander. I met you last night. My son Nathan's going to be in the Webelos, so I was just curious. I know Bonnie's leading that particular den. Do we have a kind of a timeline as far as when they're going to, fill out the schedule, kind of when we typically meet, that sort of thing? Is that going to happen next week or two?
Yeah, I will say it'll definitely happen by next week. Bonnie may actually already have it done. Josh, do you know offhand if I think she was getting pretty close to it?
Yeah, I don't know if she nailed down a date. Some of the den leaders, the dates and the times that are shown on the slides are what they've historically done in the past. So the big thing is the den leaders like to reach out to the full den, including the new scouts that come in, and just verify that the existing time or a new time that needs to be established works for everybody. We don't want a scout that's got a event that happens every Sunday at 2 to never be able to come to a den meeting. So it is still being discussed. We want to make sure we can accommodate the scouts as much as possible. So those will be finalized as we finalize recruitment over the next couple of weeks. And those schedules are discussed with all the new members along with the existing members. Historically, that den has met on Sundays as well, but again, she'll have those conversations with everybody once they get in.
All right, great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I do want to say as well.
Is this for Raw Sushi Bar too?
We do go it for Raw. It's just a $20 fee on the way out.
Oh, okay. I'll keep looking.
Alrighty.
Thanks. Okay.
Here we go. I was gonna say too, if you have a scout who has a friend in school, there's an opportunity to bring along a friend. So this is open recruitment time. So if you are interested in joining and they've got a friend at school or somebody that they spend time with that thinks they might be interested, have them bring it along. There is an award right off the bat that you can earn called the recruiter badge that goes on the uniform. So it's just a great opportunity for anybody who may want to bring a friend of somebody that they know currently to the table as well.
Anything else?
I just have one question about the campouts. Is it really mostly families, or is it a lot of dads and kids? Or I don't think my wife will camp, so I'm just curious.
Yeah,
Pretty sure she
no,
won't camp.
it's a mix, and I'll to tell you, we will get families who have never been camping before come on the camp out and really have a good time. And we've got a lot of season stuff. So it's a mix. I come with my 2 or 3, just depending on what's going on at home, and my wife will stay home. Josh has had his whole clan there most times, so it's really a mix. But the camp outs, everything is family oriented, so the families are encouraged to come along, especially on the camp outs. You know, we will make sure we've got s'mores and food for everybody, and try and include all of the kids together. But we really encourage the families to join. But yeah, if you got a family member who doesn't camp, you know, you might want to bring 2 cars and just come.
I was going to say, with it being at Pace Bend, you know, the opportunity for other family members to come out during the day
Yeah, it's
and
very
participate in the activities, and then, you know, sleep in the comfort of their bed.
Yeah.
You know, and it changes too. My wife didn't camp when we first started. She was not a camper, and we've gone on a couple of campouts together now, and she's come around. So you never know. Bring them once, and maybe they sell them.
Okay. All right, I was just curious.
There's some great places to camp in this area. I'd say in the hill country. I mean, we've gone Garner State Park. We did. It was a 3-hour drive. It was long to take 100 people, but man, it was one of the nicest, you know, best camping experiences I had. It is so nice out there. But between there and here, there's a lot of cool places to go.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah, I don't think I have any questions anymore.
All right, Josh, I miss anything? We can wrap it up and
No, I think we're good. Just look forward to seeing everybody next Monday.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, reach out. You have the emails. So just reach out with any other questions you have before then.
Yeah, for Monday, is that like, so next Monday's my son's birthday.
Yeah, it's tough.
So that's kind of, and I
That's
haven't really convinced him yet to do this or not, but.
Well, if you want 50 kids to sing them happy birthday, we can make that
It
happen.
might help, you know, I don't know, yeah, but also taking, yeah, so if we can't make that though, it's not the end of the world.
No, just let us know if you're interested in joining, or just go ahead and join if you want to. We can we'll record the session next week for the orientation as well, so that'll be available for you to view afterwards.
Okay. Well, you might be up for
We'll,
it. I just
we'll
don't-
keep trucking. So missing something is not that big of a deal.
Glenn, what grade is your son in?
He's going third.
3rd.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know. We don't know anyone else in it at the moment, but I
And
think there's some Ruffalo people that I know of, like the Marstons, and
what
this on the website for our PTO.
what school does he go to?
Ruffalo.
Okay. The den leader. Oh, they go to Serena. They live in Rough
Yeah, I
Hollow.
didn't recognize the names, but that's okay.
Yeah. Nico Spears, the den leader there. If you need his contact, I can give that to you too. But yeah, if you don't make Monday, not the end of the world. We'll get you in.
Okay, I'll talk to him and we'll see.
Okay, cool.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Take care.
All right. Thanks.